We begin Africa Live in Gabon, where General Brice Oligui Nguema has been sworn in as interim president. While taking the oath of office on Monday, Nguema promised to hold free and fair elections after an unspecified period. CGTN's Wole Ojewale Nguema has the details.
The head of the elite Republican Guard who led officers in the military coup on Wednesday is the man to watch in Gabon.
De préserver les acquis de la démocratie.
General Brice Oligui Nguema took oath of office at a ceremony held before judges of the Constitutional Court.
À l'issue de cette transition,
I swear before God and the people of Gabon that I will faithfully uphold the Republican system, respect and ensure respect for the Transition Charter and the law, carry out my duties with the superior integrity of the people, preserve the democratic gains, the independence of the country, and the integrity of the national territory. I solemnly undertake on my honor to do my utmost to achieve national unity. This, I swear.
Whilst the military takeover seems to have been largely welcomed within Gabon, other countries have not recognized Nguema as Gabon's legitimate leader. He did, however, reveal his intention to return the country to civilian rule as soon as possible.
à l'issue de cette transition,
At the end of this transition, with the support of all Gabonese development partners, we intend to hand over power to civilians by organizing new, free, transparent and credible elections in a climate of social peace.
Nguema did not disclose any timelines for the transition or when he believed an election would be held. Rather, he said he had sought the participation of all stakeholders in the drafting of a new constitution, which would be adopted by referendum.
c'est pourquoi
I am already instructing the future government to give immediate thought to the mechanisms that need to be put in place to facilitate the return of the country of all political exiles, re-establish grants for secondary school pupils, and grant amnesty for prisoners of conscience.
Nguema has been holding hours of high-profile discussions with various stakeholders in the country and responding to questions and grievances. Meanwhile, deposed President Ali Bongo remains under house arrest. Wole Ojewale Nguema, CGTN.
For more on the significance of the swearing-in for Gabon, we're joined by Wole Ojewale, a security analyst at the Institute for Security Studies. He joins us from Windhoek, Namibia. Thank you so much for joining us, Wole. General Brice Nguema has now been sworn in as transitional leader in Gabon. What's the significance of this development?
Thank you so much for having me, Hannah. The primary significance of this is that about 6 decades of a dynasty of Bongo has finally come to an end. That is the number one thing. And I think from his speech, he projected himself as a restorer of democracy, who has probably come to spend very short time to take the country back to what I would call factory setting in terms of political development. And the third significance is that he also made reference to the fact that some prisoners of politics over the years are going to gain their freedom. So I think to a large extent, he's trying to project himself as the new dawn of political development in the country.
One of the things that seems significant about what he said in that swearing in, General Nguema has indicated willingness to return Gabon back to civilian rule, but with no set deadline. Is international pressure, Wole, likely to speed up this process?
Well, I think we have to say at this point, like they used to say, that the devil is in the details. The fact that he could not signal what timeline in terms of when there's going to be the restoration of constitutional order in the country shows that the people have to remain vigilant. And I think to a large extent, there's going to be a lot of pressure from international community, from donor community, from diplomatic community, and even from business interest in the community, the country, with respect to those who have made significant investment in oil and gas, in mining, in forestry, because to a large extent, the ease of business is probably going to be affected by this military rule. And the fact that some international partners like the United States government might not be able to provide the necessary support that they do provide to democratic government as long as the country is ruled by a junta. So I think to a large extent there's going to be pressure to be able to give a definite timeline. And as an observer of Gabon, I'm expecting something within the range of 8 months to 12 months.
So now, Wole, one of the things that we have seen when it comes to that pressure has been the use of sanctions on other nations. The regional bloc ECOWAS is expected to discuss developments in Gabon. Are the coup leaders likely to be concerned about possible sanctions?
The sanctions that are going to be useful in this regard are those that come from outside Africa and probably from AU. I don't think the junta are going to take the hackers' leadership serious, because people who are now talking, the Nguesos, the Bias, who are now talking as the guardian of democracy, have also not lived up to that standard. So I think the sanction that will really do the work this time around are those that come from external stakeholders and partners.